Let's see Session 4, Post-Disaster Damage Assessment with High-Resolution Optical Satellite Imagery. Let's begin by acknowledging a hard truth. Disasters, whether natural or man-made, strike at the very heart of our existence, our communities. Understanding this profound impact is the essential first step, and it demonstrates why our next topic, systematic damage assessment, is not just a technical procedure, but a fundamental act of community care and resilience. A rapid and accurate damage assessment is not a secondary task. It is a vital first link in the entire chain of emergency response and post-disaster recovery. Based on their economic attributes, the main human-made features affected during a disaster, often termed exposed elements, can be systematically categorized. The first is buildings and structures. This encompasses everything from residences, schools, and hospitals to factories and commercial facilities. Damage here directly translates to risk to human safety, disruption of daily life, and halted economic activity. Next is transportation and lifeline infrastructure. This includes roads, bridges, railways, and so on. Damage to these assets critically hampers emergency response efforts and can trigger widespread secondary economic losses. Finally, productive assets, with agricultural land being a prime example. The destruction of crops and irrigation systems leads not only to immediate financial loss, but also threatens long-term food security, with impacts potentially lasting several growing seasons. Precisely classifying and assessing these key exposure units forms the essential foundation for quantifying the disaster's economic impact and formulating a scientific recovery plan. When a disaster strikes, remote sensing satellites become our critical eyes in the sky. Their key advantage is the ability to provide rapid, wide-area observation of the affected region, delivering the first comprehensive overview when ground access is limited or impossible. The massive influx of Earth observation data forms the essential foundation for initial damage assessment. As you can see from this satellite image captured after a major earthquake, which happened in Gansu province of China in 2023, the data was accepted by Jilin-1 satellite. The evidence is clear and objective. We can systematically identify widespread building collapses, sever transportation routes like roads, and trigger landslides. This single, wide swath image translates the vast scope of disaster impact into a tangible, analyzable data layer. This allows us to quickly prioritize the most severely affected zones and direct response resources efficiently, moving from raw imagery to actionable intelligence and recovery planning. Current remote sensing-based technologies for assessing building damage after disasters have matured into a systematic and reliable methodology. A well-established classification system is now widely adopted, typically categorizing building damage into 3 or 4 severity levels to enable precise and structured evaluation. Taking a 4-level system as an example: no damage, minor damage, major damage, destroyed. Although current mainstream methods for building damage assessment often rely on advanced technologies like deep learning, in actual emergency scenarios, we can leverage professional GIS software to quickly conduct preliminary manual interpretation and analysis. This approach does not require complex algorithmic models. Instead, it combines visualization tools with expert judgment to interpret remote sensing imagery and identify obvious signs of damage. Here, we highlight an open-source software, QGIS. As a powerful geographic information management platform, QGIS can efficiently handle various types of remote sensing data, including satellite imagery and aerial photographs. This figure shows the QGIS interface for managing pre- and post-disaster remote sensing data of the aforementioned area. Using the QGIS platform, we can quickly implement preliminary building damage assessment through plugins like MapFlow. The workflow consists of 3 key steps. First, The MapFlow plugin is used to automatically extract building footprint maps from two sets of imagery, pre-disaster and post-disaster. Second, through spatial overlay analysis in QGIS, the two building footprint maps are compared to automatically identify newly added, disappeared, or significantly altered building outlines. Finally, these change structures are marked as potentially damaged targets and validated through visual interpretation of the imagery. This process enables rapid identification of priority impact zones, providing a reliable basis for further detailed assessment and field verification. To use the MapFlow plugin in QGIS for building extraction, installation and configuration are required. MapFlow is an AI-powered cloud platform for automated feature extraction, and its plugin serves as a bridge, allowing QGIS to directly call the platform's AI models. The setup involves two key steps. First, search for and install the MapFlow plugin through the QGIS plugin manager. Second, visit the MapFlow official website to register an account and obtain a unique API access token. Once this token is configured in the plugin settings within QGIS, users can submit remote sensing imagery directly through the QGIS interface, and the AI cloud will automatically perform building footprint recognition and extraction. This integration significantly lowers the barrier to applying AI technology, enabling users to obtain professional building extraction results quickly without needing expertise in deep learning. Select the area for building extraction. Given the urgency and time constraints, the most severely affected disaster zone was chosen for analysis. After defining the priority area, the next step is to upload pre-disaster and post-disaster remote sensing images of this region to the MapFlow cloud processing platform. During the task setup, the building extraction AI model must be explicitly selected. Once submitted, MapFlow automatically processes both images in parallel, using its deep learning algorithms to generate separate vector building footprint data for the pre- and post-disaster periods. This entire workflow runs in the cloud, requiring no local computational resources, and typically delivers results within a short time frame. The output provides standardized, ready-to-use data layers for subsequent comparative damage analysis. After obtaining the building extraction results, vector polygon data, from both pre-disaster and post-disaster periods, we can use QGIS's built-in vector analysis tools to automatically identify and quantify damaged structures. The core method involves applying topological analysis tools, such as symmetrical difference or difference, to spatially overlay and compare the two building polygon layers. These tools precisely calculate the geometric overlap between the building footprints from the two periods. Areas that fully or largely overlap typically represent intact structures. In contrast, new independent portions in the post-disaster layer that do not overlap with the pre-disaster layer, such as temporary shelters built after complete collapse or extraction errors, and areas present in the pre-disaster layer that have no corresponding overlap in the post-disaster layer, can be preliminarily classified as damaged or altered buildings. By performing an inverse selection, the non-intersecting vector polygons can be obtained, which represent the damaged buildings. Beyond the software-based workflow described earlier, the current mainstream approach to building damage assessment relies on data-driven deep learning models. These models are trained on large data sets of pre- and post-disaster image pairs with corresponding annotations, enabling them to automatically recognize damage types and severity at the pixel level. Compared with rule-based traditional methods, deep learning models exhibit stronger feature learning and generalization capabilities, adapting to complex scenarios across different disaster types, geographical settings, and building structures. Typical model architectures include convolutional neural network-based image segmentation networks such as U-Net Deep Lab series and Siamese networks that incorporate temporal change detection, which can perform end-to-end automatic classification of damage levels such as collapse, minor damage, and intact. Although these methods demand high-quality training data and substantial computational resources, their high degree of automation and recognition accuracy offer clear advantages in rapid, large-scale disaster assessment, making them a key technological direction in remote sensing-based emergency response. This repository provides open-source implementations for disaster damage assessment based on deep learning. These methods are built on change detection models, which require dual temporal data, or pre- and post-disaster, as input. The pre-disaster image informs the model about the locations of buildings, while the post-disaster image allows it to assess the extent of damage sustained. This case showcases the damage assessment results from the 2023 Jishishan earthquake in Gansu Province, China. The analysis utilized pre-disaster imagery from the WorldView 2 satellite and post-disaster data from the Jilin-1 satellite. The results reveal severe building damage in the central residential area of the affected region. This figure presents enlarged views of two areas around the earthquake location, including the pre-earthquake building extraction results and the post-earthquake damage classification results. Visual interpretation shows that most buildings in Area 1 remain intact, whereas the majority of buildings in Area 2 have been buried by landslides triggered by the earthquake. The inference results are consistent with the visual interpretation. This section presents an assessment of a devastating earthquake that struck southwestern Afghanistan in late August this year. The death toll rising to at least 2,500 and nearly 5,000 people injured as of September 10th. Our deep learning-based damage assessment focuses on the affected area, including but not limited to the provincial capital and the most severely impacted zones. The pre-disaster data we used were obtained from the WorldView 2 satellite, purchased from a company with imagery captured in 2023 at a resolution of 0.6 meters. The post-disaster data were acquired by the Jilin-1 Gaofen 3 satellite, captured on September 2nd, 2025, featuring a swath width of 17 kilometers and a resolution of 0.6 meters. It is worth to note that the model we employed was trained on data with a resolution of 0.3 meters, which may introduce additional errors. The model inference results indicate that approximately 110,000 buildings in the area were unaffected, while around 8,700 buildings were damaged, accounting for 7.1% of the total number of buildings. This figure presents the inferred building damage results for Jalalabad, the capital city of this province. The model inference results indicate that approximately 27,000 buildings in the area were unaffected, while around 2,500 buildings were damaged, accounting for 8.61% of the total number of buildings. This figure shows the building damage assessment results for the Kuz-Kunar area within the disaster-affected region. The model inference results indicate that approximately 4,300 buildings in the area were unaffected, while around 1,280 buildings were damaged, accounting for 22.59% of the total number of buildings. Thank you for watching the UNU course Chinese High-Resolution Optical Remote Sensing Satellite, presented by Professor Ailong Ma and Inhe Liu from Wuhan University.